Welcome, everyone. My name is Matt Bach, and I'm the director of UCAN's endurance business. As you are probably aware, if you're a triathlete, today would have been Kona Day 2020. In fact, this premiere is airing at the exact moment that the cannon would have gone off at the Ironman World Championship to kick off the pro men's race. So here with me today is the great Tim O'Donnell. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, Matt. Great to see you.
So for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know how you might not know, but Teo, as he is affectionately known, placed second at the Ironman World Championship last year, his best ever finish. This isn't to say he's lollygagged during his other Kona performances. However, since he has placed top 10 on the Big Island 6 of the last 8 years. So talk about consistency there. In honor of the Kona that never was, Kona 2020, I wanted to bring Tim on for about 10 minutes to reminisce about last year's success, reflect on one of the changes he made that had a big positive impact on his performance. Spoiler alert, it's UCAN. Momentarily grieve about the race that never was and look forward to 2021. And maybe we'll call this 10 with Tim.
Done.
Tim, how meaningful was last year's Kona? How meaningful was last year's Kona performance to you?
Honestly, it's been, I'd say, the highlight of my career, especially overcoming a broken foot 7 weeks before the race, and not even knowing if I was going to be able to start the race, to be able to turn that around and then have the performance of a lifetime and be the first American under 8 hours in Kona. It was, a dream come true. And my family was there, which was amazing. My parents, 2 of my siblings, half of them, they were always too scared to come out and watch me race. Thought they'd be a distraction, but it turns out they were a great motivation. So yeah, to share that with all my loved ones, obviously my wife and my daughter Izzy, it was just a really magical day.
Yeah, not only a distraction, but you thought that maybe, or they thought that maybe they were cursing you because of the first time that they came, right? That you had an awful performance.
My parents came the first air race Kona in 2011. I DNF'd, and then they hadn't come back. They didn't come back. They're like, nope.
For your sake, Tim, we're not going to come back.
Right.
And you mentioned your broken foot. You had your fair share of hardship in the lead up to Kona last year. So, tell us about that broken foot, how that came about, and then about the earlier struggles that you had that year too.
Yeah, the whole, 2000, I came off 2018 with a great performance, 4th place finish in Kona, my fastest time, to date back then. Things were looking great. And then I got in a bike crash in March, broke my ribs, missed a bunch of race starts, barely qualified for Kona, and then finally got things turned around at the end of July, only to break my foot, the end of August. And it was I'd actually broken my foot in 2018, and that 5th metatarsal fracture didn't heal properly. And it turns out I just re-broke the same break again.
And I remember when you were going through that, it was really like you didn't even know if you were going to be able to start. And then all of a sudden, you just had this absolutely incredible day.
Yeah. Actually, I remember calling you, Matt, and you're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But we pulled it around, buddy.
Yeah. Now let's go to race day. Let's reminisce about that. Last year, 2019, what were the highlights? What were those pivotal points throughout the race that kind of made it what it was for you?
Yeah. So, actually the night before I couldn't even sleep. I was, usually you're a little nervous the night before, but I honestly had doubt in my mind. I had no clue if I was going to be able to do this. This is, the toughest single day event out there, right? It's grueling, and I just didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. But, I said, okay, it is what it is. I was full of gratitude that I was just even going to be able to start. So, the gun went off on race morning, and I just went to work. Ended up having a great start to the swim, perfect position, and made a break of, maybe 8 guys made a break in the swim. And from there, we didn't look back. We had a bunch of horsepower on the bike. Jan Frodeno, Ali Brownlee, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Jan had already won Kona twice at that point. And then a bunch of other great cyclists. And I knew this was my dream scenario. Every year I say, okay, there's going to be a break in the swim, and it's going to be full of just, tons of horsepower, and no one's ever going to see us again. And it never worked out that way until 2019. And we just had great dynamics on the bike. And before I knew it, coming down from Javi on the turnaround on the bike, a little over halfway through the bike, there's only 3 of us left. It was me, Jan, and Ali. So I knew I was in the great position at that point.
Yeah. And then during that run, we were able to hold on strong the whole way through. Keenly trying to chase you down.
Yep.
Jan running away, he got hot on his heels in case he made a mistake or something went wrong. And then
for me,
Hoffman
man,
too.
it was, obviously I had a lot of doubt about my running ability. I hadn't run on outside on pavement until like a couple days before I left for Kona, so like a week and a half before the race. And I think I ran 4 or 5 times fully weight loaded outside before the race. So Jan had I think a little over 2 minutes, around 2 minutes off the bike, and I came in off by myself, and I actually saw the race clock when I was coming out of transition, and it was like 5:09 something. I'm like, oh man, I can break 8 hours, but I need to run sub 250, which I had never done before in Kona at that point in time. And I said, okay, well, you better get to work. And I put that out of my mind, and I just got into my routine.
Giddy up.
Yeah, giddy up.
Now, one of my favorite memories that you've shared, one of the favorite stories from Kona, is when you're on the Queen K, and you're, I think, at mile about 25 or so. I mean, you're really, really close to the finish at this point. And Rinny was yelling something to you. What was she saying?
That's right. So unfortunately, my wife, Rinny, 3-time Ironman world champion, a legend in her own right. She had some issues going on and wasn't able to finish. And she saw me going out on the run, and she just got off the bike. She was coming on the bike, threw her bike in the lava rocks, and just started cheering. But yeah, around 25 miles, I think I had about 3 minutes on Sebastian. So I was locked in for, that second place. And she's like, second is yours. Just relax and enjoy the finish line. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I get, half a mile down the road, and some random guy's like, hey, you can break 8 hours. You just got to run whatever for the last K. And I'm like, Rinny doesn't want me breaking her family run course record here. She's just trying to slow me down. So I got back on it. She has a course record for the women at 250. So I finally, with my 249 last year, finally got the household Kona record.
Finally took it back. So let's talk nutrition. You had a breakthrough that day. And what was it?
Yeah. Like you said, spoiler alert, UCAN was a massive part of my day in Kona. My preloading routine, and then, continue loading on the bike. It set me up for an amazing run. And I've always struggled in Kona, particularly not only the back half, even like after mile 10, usually when I get up Palani and onto the Queen K, where the race really starts, in my opinion, that's where I've always struggled. And that was the exact case in 2018. I was running with the eventual winner of the race, Patrick Lange. We were just gotten on the Queen K. We were running in the lead, and I just kind of fizzled. I fell apart, and I was moving fine. My heart rate was fine, but I just ran out of steam. So that's when I started trying to figure out how can we make this better, and that's thankfully when I met you and the UCAN family and realized that this superstarch is going to be the secret kind of ingredient, the key that gives me that sustained energy that's going to keep me going in the back half of the marathon. And it did.
Yeah, it was incredible just watching you really finish strong, run so steady the whole way through. And your splits were just amazingly even all the way through, especially in that last 10K. Like I've raced Kona before, and I know that last 10K is rough. I mean, this is the last 10K of an Ironman. It is really, really hot, and it's really, really hard to keep a steady pace. And it was
some good uphill to do when you're coming back to Queen K.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually remember my coach, Sebi, had brought the gap down to like 2 minutes, and I saw my coach, and I'm like, is it really 2 minutes? And this is with a couple miles left, and she's like, yep. I'm like, oh. And I actually picked up my pace, and that's the first time ever on those last couple miles in Kona that I've actually picked up the pace and been able to run faster. And I just got into the rhythm, and then like I said, I think it was 3 minutes at the finish. So I was in a great spot at the end of the marathon.
Fantastic. So if anybody wants to take a deeper dive into Tim's nutrition approach, specific to Kona and specific to his training and how he incorporates UCAN, we have a great video that you can find here in the comments. And that video is a good 45-minute or so deep dive on how Tim uses UCAN in his training, racing, daily life, really in all these different ways. So you can also check out, if you want to try UCAN, you can check out the link that I just put into the comments here as well. And this is for the intro bundle, the UCAN intro bundle. So if you haven't tried it before, or maybe if you haven't tried all of the different UCAN formats and flavors, the UCAN bundle, UCAN intro bundle has a lot of that in there, and it's a fantastic deal as well. Something like, it's about 30% off. So fantastic deal right now to pick up some UCAN if you want to try it out or try out some of those new flavors. So how bummed are you that you're not racing in Kona right now?
Man, yeah, it's been tough. I was actually looking at pictures and just, you know, you're in such good shape in Kona, like you're in the best shape of your life. You got veins popping out everywhere. And, man, I don't look like that right now. But it's just a culmination of the year that we're used to, and almost like my body's been in that rhythm. And it's just I don't know. It's definitely a bummer. Obviously, hope we can be back next year and understand that at the end of the day, it's just sport, and there's a lot of more important things going on in the world that we need to take care of first. But yeah, it gives me an appreciation, deeper appreciation, and the excitement next year in Kona is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So give us a quick sneak peek, if you're able to, about what's coming up for you. Or do you have any, I know, we're still in the heart of this pandemic here, but some racing has begun to appear again. So do you have any plans to race anytime soon? And in 2021, do you have a semblance of a schedule put together at all?
Yeah, so luckily the PTO, that's the Professional Triathletes Organization, has come together, and we've actually got some events going on for the professionals. I'll be racing at the end of October at the Great Floridian, which is actually, it's one of the oldest races in the country.
Yeah.
Got a great history. And the PTO's put up some prize money for a pro event there. And then the PTO championships at Daytona International Speedway is going to be full on. It's the top 50 men and women in the world been invited. Massive $1 million prize purse. So there's going to be some excitement, some fireworks going on in Daytona. Going to be a lot of fun. And that'll obviously, that's in December. That'll wrap up 2020 for me. And, I can't say I'm not going to be sad to see 2020 go. That's for sure. Looking forward to 2021. Challenge Roth, which is a massive full distance race in Germany, will be the focus of my summer. That'll be July. And then from there, it's just getting ready for Kona 2021. Luckily, I'm already qualified. So all I have to do is get ready.
Yep, prepare. It allows you the opportunity to go race Challenge Roth, which should be awesome. I know you were planning on doing that this year.
Yeah, that was on the schedule, and they actually had the podium, both the men's and women's podium from Kona in 2019 had signed up for Roth this year, and I believe everybody is committed for 2021. So that'll still be a heck of a show.
Yeah, wow. So definitely exciting, especially because we've had such this hiatus from racing. It'll be so exciting to see it as racing begins again. So we'll be rooting for you. Thanks so much for coming on, Tim, and thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
See you, Tim. Thanks. Bye, Kona Day.